No, no, far from it. Islam is a religion of peace and tranquility. Um, God gives us many excuses to be peaceful, and God does not like aggression. He says he doesn't love the aggressors. Um, but at the same time, he wants us to stand up for our rights. So if there are groups of people or individuals that are aggressing against us, God does tell us to stand up for our rights and to fight the aggressing group. But we should never, ever be the instigators of war. It is always, we should be on the defense, not the offense. That is so far from it. The only reason why that we would kill is in defense. If there are, God tells us the rules of war in chapter 60, verses 8 and 9, God tells us about the rules of war. It is always in defense. We never go out charging people, killing them, because they are disbelievers. And as a matter of fact, God tells us that we can befriend disbelievers as long as they don't fight us and they don't evict us from our homes because of our religion. We can befriend them. So it absolutely. Because of our religion, we can befriend them. So it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever to say that God tells us to kill the disbelievers. It's only at the time of war when the disbelievers are attacking us. There is absolutely no compulsion in religion. Satan makes it hard for people to observe God's commandments because he wants to make everything about extreme. Okay? You want to observe your contact prayers. Okay, you women, you have to lay some kind of carpet down, cover yourselves from head to toe, and then observe your contact prayer then. And then the contact prayer is so long because you are combining maybe your noon and afternoon together. Satan wants to make up all these different laws and makes it a lot more difficult. For instance, when it's time for my contact prayer, I could be in a mall. I'll just go into a dressing room. I can be out in a park and I'll just go find myself a nice shaded corner and observe my contact prayer. It's no big production. Charity, you give to charity. It's very easy. God's laws are always easy to observe. And since the Quran is complete and fully detailed, and God didn't, God forbid, God didn't forget to mention anything, God mentioned everything that we need to know. We should not prohibit what God has not prohibited in the Quran. It is very important that the way we observe what God says in the Quran, that if we cannot find it in the Quran, okay, then we should not observe it or we should not prohibit it. So there are a lot of misconceptions that music is prohibited, dancing is prohibited, and dancing should be in a very tasteful manner. As I mentioned before, a part of a dress code for a woman is not to walk or move her body in a certain way where certain parts of her body become very visible and would attract people. But yeah, you can have all kinds of fun, all kinds of sports. God be glorified. Yes, I'm leading a much more happier life than I would ever have had. The best time of my life is when I'm talking about God in a Quranic study group, talking. I love debating with people from different religions or different philosophies, different backgrounds. That is the best fun that I've ever had in my life.